About Donald Trump's tariffs much longer because an 11-judge panel today of the Federal Circuit Court of Appeals, I believe, is about to strike them down. He's not going to be able to go after China and all that money, all that $50-60 billion that came into the U.S. Treasury, all goes back. And when they strike them down, that means he's not going to be doing any more deals. He's not going to be collecting any more money. He's not going to be imposing any more sanctions on our allies like Brazil, some of which may actually go back to his Commerce Secretary's family business because they're betting against the tariffs too.
Large-scale ICE raids have recently struck Phoenix and nearby metro areas. More than 1,600 migrants were taken into custody during multiple operations, leaving the community deeply alarmed. ICE has quietly resumed making arrests inside the Phoenix Immigration Court, detaining migrants immediately after their hearings, even in elevators, courtyards, and parking areas. Some individuals were apprehended before they could even reach their vehicles. This angered immigrant rights advocates, who surrounded ICE agents outside the courthouse. The move comes as ICE ramps up a wider deportation campaign. Protesters rallied with signs and chants, calling for an end to the actions. But the raids are not limited to courthouses. ICE has also been targeting homes and vehicles in Phoenix. A local resident shared a video confronting an ICE agent during a roadside arrest. Another video posted online showed a federal tanker entering a Phoenix neighborhood, prompting residents to challenge ICE as soon as they arrived. Demonstrations have been growing as ICE increases its raids, fueling fear among migrant communities. During one of these protests, a woman was arrested for participating in an anti-ICE demonstration and is now under investigation. This escalation follows ICE's nationwide rollback of courthouse protections, expanding fast-track removals to any location in the U.S., not just the border. Raids are surging across the country. To date, ICE has detained hundreds, including immigrants, families, and vulnerable people. Share your thoughts in the comments, and remember to like and subscribe for more updates on these operations. Trump vowed he would win through tariffs, hailing them as his ultimate economic weapon. He argued they would restore jobs, punish unfair trade practices, and prove to the world that America was once again in control. When he slapped heavy duties on foreign imports, China being the prime target, it was marketed as a bold, patriotic masterstroke, a one-two punch to shield American industries, revive manufacturing, and prioritize working families. To his supporters, it played like a victory anthem, loud, defiant, and unapologetically America first. This wasn't merely policy. It was theater wrapped in red, white, and blue, designed to make his base feel like champions in a global showdown. Trump claimed only he could deliver the win, but behind the spotlight, a far more cynical story might have been unfolding. Some of those closest to him, advisors, allies, and financial insiders, may not have shared the public optimism. In fact, evidence hints that certain individuals were betting against his success. And not just betting, they might have been profiting from the market chaos his tariffs unleashed. Here's how. Tariffs shake up markets, spark uncertainty, disrupt supply chains, drive up raw material costs, and damage industries dependent on imports. When markets smell instability, savvy investors don't sit idle. They position themselves to capitalize. Reports suggest that members of Trump's inner circle made financial moves that only make sense if they anticipated the tariffs' failure, whether by short-selling stocks in vulnerable industries, investing in commodities set to surge, or shifting assets ahead of market downturns.
11 judges, and none of them appointed by Donald Trump. I'm going to report on it right here. We had an oral argument for 2 hours today in D.C. on 2 cases related to the attack on Donald Trump's tariffs. A couple of months ago, there were a couple of appeals, a couple of cases. One went up to the Court of International Trade, a little understood, little known specialty court, sits in New York. And I can tell you with reasonable certainty, although if I'm wrong, I'll come back and tell you, that he's not going to win.
The pattern points to insider foresight, if not outright exploitation. Imagine, while Trump was telling the public tariffs were a genius move, some of his closest allies were quietly profiting from the economic harm being done. Farmers suffered, factories closed, prices climbed. But somewhere, someone was collecting millions, possibly at the expense of the very working-class voters Trump promised to defend. That's not just hypocrisy, it's betrayal. It turns the America First slogan into a bitter punchline, a disguise for a system where the elite reap rewards while everyday people pay the bill. If true, the tariffs weren't a strategy for victory, they were a setup, enriching a select few while leaving the country weaker. So before we continue, if you want the truth behind the headlines, not the spin, not the cover stories, but the real narrative, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and stick around. Because this isn't merely about trade policy. It's about power, deception, and who truly benefits in Trump's America. And we're not stopping until every detail is uncovered.